It's a new day, a new dawn. It's a new generation. A lot of things are going better and better every day. A lot of things, a lot of news, a lot of things. But things are starting to make sense, like I tell you. Je dis, il est possible que nous gagnions un invité et sœur, un invité culturel qui pourrait aider nous comprendre certaines choses. Ils ont invité Kabla avec nous. Et invité ça, m'a invité l'avant. Hein? M'avait invité ça avant. Mesdames et messieurs, ou même qui haïtiens, tout côté à travers le monde qui suivent nous, nous avons une chance de gagner un invité. Nous allons parler créole. Et lui-même, l'a intervenu. Donc, deux, trois dans nous qui parlent anglais, sont capables de comprendre tout et de poser les questions. C'est un système qui est multiculturel et les sorties. Il y a plusieurs mélanges qui dans sang. Les Éthiopiens, souche, les ont éducation anglaise et la vive Manchester. Il y a pile mauvaise nouvelle. Nouvelle tirée en Haïti, nouvelle. Toute qualité nouvelle, j'aime tout ça. Nous avons toute qualité nouvelle en Haïti. Mais nouvelles que nous gagnons, ce n'est pas des nouvelles qui font belle. Nous avons besoin des alliances. Nous avons besoin de faire alliance. Et moi, avant, il y a une chose que pas de gens m'apprennent nous, c'est being one people. Je vais inviter 3 millions sociales kounya là. Et then, je dis nous toutes là, bienvenue. Bienvenue. Comment nous lever matin? Moi-même sur WhatsApp, Nadia, bonjour, Mbaplago. Moi-même matin, nouvelle que je prends sur Internet, n'est pas bon du tout. Hein? C'est pas des nouvelles qui sont intéressantes, c'est des nouvelles qui ont sang là-dedans, c'est des nouvelles qui ont problème là-dedans, c'est des nouvelles yo pas bon. Nouvelles yo gen tiré là-dedans, nouvelles yo gen toute qualité bagaille là-dedans, vous comprenez? Donc là gen genre de nouvelles ça yo, ils viennent pas intéressant pour moi tirer, moi du feu en Haïti, moi ça moi embarrassé men. Ça moi embarrassé men. Moi j'ai deux choix, c'est soit me vinn là, me vinn parler de ça moi pour me fâcher, pour maigrir, ou bien pour me faire l'autre bagaille. Je viens réaliser que pour bien net, moi, j'ai besoin de faire l'autre bagaille. Pour tout ça, vous comprenez? Et c'est peut-être ça m'a évité nos jeudi à la tout pour nous venir vivre dans tout ça, moi-même. Moi, mes cultures, moi, mes langues, moi, mes chercher les gens qui semblent. Moi, mes ça. Vous comprenez? Moi, mes ça. Je cherche moi si je décale la en WhatsApp. Je ne suis pas capable. Ça veut WhatsApp moi pas utile moi toi pas guess. Ou bien je pas connais, ba on s'y mandé pour me refaire et tout podcast moi encore. Si me dit on va refaire podcast moi on me fait mentir. Je vais pas chita refaire podcast même là, même bourgeois. Je blague dans quelques 3 millions. Ma blague dans quelques 3 millions. And then la gueule dans 3 millions 2 et 3 millions like, 3 millions Hollande, 3 millions Argentine, 3 millions Boston. And maybe later on, da capable la gueule sur 2-3 autres channels. Je dis tout le monde bienvenue, bonjour. Je suis sûr que même j'avais matin ou levé sous de très mauvaises notes ou levé sous de très mauvais sons. Vous comprenez? This is a way for me pour me lever nous dans sa nuit. Pour nous commencer avec une petite musique. Right? Yeah. À tes plates, tous les mains ne pressent pas. Pas comprendre rien de ça, là. Tout bail, c'est pour temps. Des fois, sagesse sorti dans tête on est qui sous. Bon là, il y a qui nous perdit toute bagaille. Il y a des gens qui vivent ça, il y a des gens qui vivent ça. Oh. Tout bail c'est bon titan, yon titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, calé comme bon titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, titan bien déterminé, né. Black music. Tout bail c'est bon titan, yon titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, yon titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, titan bien déterminé. DJ Nay, black music, Fefe. Ou vin ici, tant qu'on tirène. Ou vin ici, tant qu'on tiwa. Ou vin ici, c'est poté au poteau sous dos. Ou pas contre bridra, pile teta. Ou pas contre ça, ou pas contre gang, ou pas contre problème. Ou vin ici, sans l'argent, sans connaître, sans an, ou pas contre la haine. Ou vin ici, là tout bébé. Ou vin ici, là sans parler. Ou vin ici, là sans dents en bouche et pour vin tête calée. Ou vin ici, là sans problème. Ou vin ici, là sans la haine. Ou vin ici, là sans qu'on rien l'autre, tout ni qu'on marche, ni qu'on parler. Mais où est tes amis, à ennemi famille? J'en reviens en consort bralé. J'en reviens en consort bralé. Tout bail c'est bon titan, non titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, calé pour bon titan. Bienvenue dans le basement, moi. Côté Freddy a recommencé à monter encore. Je dis, nous allons parler avec un sister. Ça fait tout le temps là. Et à parler avec un pile d'amis à travers le monde. Guyana, Manchester, London. Il y a une renaissance, un réveil qui commence à faire à travers le monde noir. Gon raison qui fait nous commencer ouais que soit bien viré c'est bon titan, ou bien passé c'est bon titan, ou bien rad ou bien visa ou voyager c'est bon titan, ou bien amis c'est bon titan, ou vient à la mode c'est bon titan, ou bien passé c'est bon titan, bagay yo c'est bon titan, dans la bouche ou bon titan, cheveux dans tête ou bon titan, chelbéa jeune garçon même sexe là c'est bon titan, belle caille c'est bon titan, yo yé femme c'est bon titan, yo yé plaisir pour voir l'argent. Même non, c'est bon titan, yo yé. Pas gagné ken sens. Sous tes ça, nous c'est mort en vacances. Chita wap gen patience. J'en reviens en consort bralé. J'en reviens en consort bralé. Tout bail c'est bon titan, non titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, calé comme bon titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, titan bien déterminé, né. Black music. Tout bail c'est bon titan, non titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, non titan. Tout bail c'est bon titan, titan bien déterminé. Bonjour à tout le monde, c'est me lever dans la cabane. Mais je dis en son bel jour, à New Dawn.
C'est ça, c'est pas limli. C'est vu. C'est pas pour raison l'amour. Là, vous pas bien sens. Ou tant qu'on paix sans religion. Yon soldat sans cause. Cherchez l'amour maintenant la vie. Sous pas raison pour vivre. Black Chronos.
J'en reviens en consort bralé. J'en reviens en consort bralé.
Welcome to Telegram Professional.
Mais j'en reviens c'est consort bralé. Non. Moi je connais que nous lever avec un pile nouvelle. Moun qui peut comprendre nouvelle ça yo pral prendre. Et nouvelle yo pas belle. Nouvelle yo en Haïti et zam capturé division. Maman de côté solidarité aïe. M'attendni m'attend vaudouisant relé ben pour le dire non mais ça va qu'à fait faut que nous venons faire solidarité m'attend toujours. Par contre pour combien de temps m'attend? Mais m'attend. M'vle tan. Ne m'passe ou même tout ou vle tan. Avant nous entrer dans ça n'a fait là, moi pral demander nous pour nous commencer faire une petite place en dedans que nous. Si gen nan nous qui t'a senti nous bouleverser, me connais que nous apprendre prier différentes façons. Mais moi-même m'a toujours présenté nos façons que moi connais hein? Parce que chaque monde gagne un petit cal un mot dans genre spiritualité aya. Ou tout le monde a prié et puis ouais c'est prier monde ça qui monte en premier. So nan intérêt ça n'a fait master nan intérêt ça n'a fait tout le monde quel que soit côté la kaiwa pour une grande respiration pour nous commencer à grandeur nous observer l'esprit nous raison nous bien nous avec mal nous observer crown chakra nous moi pour cet elle actif pour moi en tout cas ça veut dire pour nous il y a quelques monde là qui le toucher observer throat chakra observer là that observer tad observer plexus pas plexus solaire non observer heart chakra qui n'a mis à l'estomac même là vous sentir nous mettre relax continuer régler à fort observer confiance qu'on besoin pour activer fire chakra depuis pour bouillir ou sentir observer water chakra émotionnellement pour le sentir là ou même et observer root chakra et c'est dans faire recherche dans nuit là me découvrir que la famille Rothschild qui c'est famille mon n'a cité dans Illuminati Rothschild veut dire shield rouge. Shield rouge son banque chita sur économie connectée à qui ça? Avec root chakra. So la famille chita son banque. La famille c'est première banque qui jamais existé. So nous prenons une discussion et discussion ça va montrer nous qui gens moi-même avant nous pour nous faire un petit effort pour nous apprendre nos langues parce que si nous aimons culture l'autre monde et nous besoin monde connaît culture nous donc nous besoin langue pour nous capable de communiquer avec ISIS voilà wow That's crazy. Moi capable de dire comme ça que yo lave internet la propre hein. M'a chercher une photo de jour pour me capable recevoir sister. Mais on même entrer dans profond méditation, entrer dans silence profond. Nous sommes d'ailleurs recevoir sister avec the proper means and see what we could discuss. Ça nous a discuter ensemble. M'a mettre ça dem non pour me capable recevoir lui. Et ben ma ballon petit col, you know. Un ballon petit col tout petit. Once we finish set up écran ça, we're gonna have a good time. We'll have a good time. Côté que culture, we'll rencontrer la culture. And then maybe nous capable changer qui est nous who that. Hein? Maybe ça capable faire que nous changer qui est nous doyer. Who that? Who knows? Ça n'a pas là, c'est première famille qui jamais existé. Vaudouisan connaît sous nom trois quoi qui planté dans la cour. Nous mêmes chrétiens nous connaissons sous nom le Père, le Fils et le Saint-Esprit. Ou après le Père, ou après le Fils, ou après le Saint-Esprit. Mais symbole, ça regarder là, son symbole qui veut dire plus que ça. Pour les ancêtres nous, une pyramide, une l'église, un symbole, pas jamais veut dire ça, veut dire il représente source toute bagaille. Donc il a toujours posé des actes qui représentent source toute bagaille là, ou est granteur, ou est administrateur et ou est bénéficiaire. Si on regarde là tout ces mêmes principes ça tout qui bâtit une constitution. Dans la constitution après un granteur, un groupe de monde, il y a un administrateur qui c'est trustee, un soldat au gouvernement et bénéficiaire c'est pour petit moun. Ça veut dire famille a créé pour petit la héritier toute bagaille, pays a créé pour petit pays a héritier toute bagaille. Well, je t'écoute, mais je vais commencer les sisters, mais je vais quitter notre petite musique toujours.
Papa loco, où c'est vent, où c'est l'aller, nous c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Papa loco, où c'est vent, où c'est l'aller, nous c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Et tout ça qui dit bien, j'aime l'ailler. Et tout ça qui dit malo, j'aime l'aïe, papa loco, où c'est vrai, où c'est n'allé, où c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Papa loco, où c'est vent, où c'est n'allé, nous c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Papa loco, où c'est vent, où c'est n'allé, nous c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Et tout ça qui dit bien. Tout ça qui dit malo, papa loco, où c'est vrai, où c'est l'aller, où c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. La beauté nouvelle bayagoué. C'est bon. Papa loco, c'est vent. Ou à pousser l'aller, nous c'est papillon. La beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Et tout ça qui dit bien. C'est bon, c'est bon. Et tout ça qui dit malo. J'aime l'aller, papa loco, où c'est bon. Pousser l'aller, nous c'est papillon, la beauté nouvelle bayagoué. Parole papa loco,
Moi choisi pour les musiques Toto Bicent ça, c'est pour me être capable peut-être mettre de ton, hein, pour me être capable de mettre le ton. Et si m'a recevoir un monde dans l'autre culture, qui sont culture cousine, en culture sœur, m'bagay jouer n'importe bagaille bali, faut me présenter l'on bail en classique ou en bonne. Faut me présenter l'on classique et then m'a présenter l'on classique and then in the background nous pral gen une petite photo ça et qui pral exprimer new done que moi voulais parler nous aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui nous pral gen sister Wendy Chad. Yon sister from far. Nous pral just go en discussion randomly comme ça on the 3 millions plateformes. There is a lot of good news et m'da dit nous tout monde qui pral là yo dégager nous pral gen ti anglais. M'a prend le bonheur dans show comme ça peut-être me capable traduire pour nous. Ça le dit et puis continuer par la ville dans sens ça qu'a fait là. Peace to all. Everybody now, are we ready? Well, again, Sister Wendy Chad, straight up from Manchester. From now on, well, you know, again, well, recevoir guests, no, in a language that she could understand. And then I will ask Sister Chad, already listening to the show right now, try to pull down your monitor because we don't want no feedback going back to you. We want you as the only feedback. So make sure you pull down your monitor. Just watch the screen and you're gonna be the music we're going listening from now on. Sister Chad. Hello? 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 If she's listening, Sister Chad. Sister Wendy. Hello? Hello?
Greetings.
Yeah, greetings, Sister Wendy. Greetings. How you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Blessed love.
Best of love. As you can see, right now I am on the live, and then the live
Sister
is...
Wendy. You keep calling me Sister. Yes, sir.
It come again. Correct me one last time. I promise I will do my best. Sister Wendy, right?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
You know what you need to do? If you listening to the show on the monitor, feel free to turn the volume all the way down because we're gonna only straightly communicate to the phone. So there is no delay while you're listening, so you could be accurate on the time. Yeah?
Okay, there's a lot of feedback here.
Yes, just pull it down. Just mute it. You don't need the sound. You're gonna be the sound that we're gonna listen to now on.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you. Everything is good and clear. And on your side,
Okay.
everything is fine?
I'm getting there, yes, I pray.
You're right, all right. Well, since it's about culture and it's about a genuine exchange, I must start by introduce myself and then my culture. I tell you who I am before I ask you who you are. So we're gonna play that little game. Would it be fair with you? Hello? Sister. How you doing, sister? Do you have any problem on your side? Let me try to pull back the call. Everything is good, sister?
Can you hear me?
I hear you properly, Timomo.
Sorry.
You might have a problem with your headset, I guess.
No, I haven't got a headset on. Do I need to put my headset on?
Well, you don't need to. I prefer the clear sound of your voice. Well, like
Can you hear me now?
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you. Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I want to play something in my culture. I'm going to tell you who I am, and then we're going to make the conversation like that, and you're going to introduce yourself. All right?
Sure.
I am Fenner. I am a Haitian by native name, and I'm living in Boston, and I am a community organizer. I organize a Team 3 Million. We are almost now at 20 cities around the 4 continents, and then we try to send and get back our culture for educational purpose to see who I am, and I am one of the organizer of that team, and this is what we're doing now. Talking to the people every day, sharing information, creating marketplace, and then basically this is what I'm doing. And about you?
Oh, my name is Sister Wendy. I'm actually from England, but my family is from Jamaica. I'm in the UK right now, Manchester. I'm also a community activist, and at this moment, we're in lockdown. So it's about what I give back to my community at this moment.
That's really good. And community is everything that we have. What would you say? I believe you heard the stories about Haiti. You know, how do you feel as a culturally person? How do you feel? What is it? How do you get the news?
Well, for me personally, about Haiti, I've always heard negative things about Haiti. And it gives me great pleasure to talk to you this morning so I can be uplifted and be educated about Haiti as well, because I'm learning a little bit more about Haiti since I've been talking to you and what the colonizing did in terms of Haiti. But for me, Haiti is a strong country, and I would like to work with you to help lift the Asians together to bring back Asian on the top, because you know, so many times when we do the right things, the colonizing always want to crush the good people. But now, if we work together, we can bring each other forward and to the top of everything. Working together is a key right now.
I believe so. And then, like you just mentioned, things on the news about Haiti is always a negative picture and especially my people need to be more informed about what the social media is when you're putting your business, your pictures, anything that's happening in your country, and while everybody is, sealing their own information. And I believe that it would be a lesson for all listening, or all that are going listening. On Facebook, I salute. In both of the page, on YouTube, I salute, and also on Instagram, I salute. What would be the next topic you would want to go along with? Do you want me to keep driving the conversation? Do you have question as well? Because we want to have in Haiti, we have animated conversation.
Yeah, we can continue talk because each one teach one. I can also tell you a little bit about my background as I go along, and one of the things I've been doing in the UK since I've been here. I want to say I've been here. I was always here, but I went to Ethiopia, Shashamane, Africa, but I came back. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ethiopia, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing right here in Manchester. Since I came here in November last year, went back in February, and I came back with my children, and unfortunately, I got locked into the system. And by doing that, I see there was a need for our people to serve the community. And I've been doing a food share, meaning getting food to the elderly, because with the lockdown, nobody could go anywhere, nobody to do, especially our elders, to go to the shops. It was like a scare antics. So in order for me to even communicate with our people, I decided to do something. And food, I start knocking on the door, giving out parcels to the elders and whosoever I could, making sure that they were okay. And this is one way of communication with one another.
Right now, I am on the computer, and then we are watching Ethiopia now. I don't know if you can see it. Can I tell you, when I look at the pictures, there is no difference at all from your culture to mine. The same people. The only thing is, I tell you, is the dreadlocks, and you guys are really pride. You wear the colors on every design and clothes and caps, and this is the only difference. There is a pride of the color.
Yes, the pride of the color was a red, gold, and green. That's the color of Ethiopia, of His Imperial Majesty, and that color is very significant to us in this day, right up until now. That red, gold, and green.
No. You guys are using exactly the same drum we use in the Haiti and the culture. Nah, it can't be.
Here we are, because you see, we was all one until we get split up, get taken away. So we're slowly bringing ourselves back together, each one together. And once we know who we are and bring back ourselves together, we become one Africa again, one one nation again, who we are. We have to find our culture. We have to find who we are. That's the beauty of everything, knowing who we are.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. So it is mandatory in the culture for men to grow their hair?
No, it's not. It's you see, again, in Ethiopia, there's different tribes as well, and for me, it's the Rastafarian. For me, it was the Rastafarian, and I don't know if you know, Morgan Heritage sing, "You don't have to be dread to be Rasta."
Of course.
You know that song? Yes. That's always a song that I always quote. It's about the culture. It's about function of one heart in terms of the Rastafarian. But in Ethiopia, there's tribal people who actually grows their hair. That's where it comes from as well. So that's another part of our culture. We have so much culture that was taken away from us. Who they don't respect anymore. But we have to go back to that culture and find ourselves, because it's a beautiful thing we had. So once we start doing that, then we know who we are. We'll be good.
That's really interesting. I believe from the past, Haiti support Ethiopia.
Sorry?
I believe from the past, Haiti and Ethiopia have a little bit of a story together. I believe from the past, Haiti supports Ethiopia from Italy. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Well, that war that was won by the Ethiopians, of course, we all came together, even with Jamaica. And yes, it's Jamaica, it's the Caribbean that supported that war. And with that war that won, His Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, gave a land grant to the people, the black people. Anytime you want to come home, is a land that you can always come home to. And his Shashamani was part of that land grant. It's not a Rastafarian land. It's we, the black people, for that land. Well, so there's a place for home for any time we choose to.
This is wonderful. Haiti with King Menelik in Ethiopia. Public Archive. There was a battle from Adawa. And the crown, the battle from Adawa was won because Haiti supported Ethiopia with guns and soldiers. Ever since the Committee of Ethiopia created the Pan-African movement from 1945, the Black World Negro Digest organization. But how come I never knew that Haiti and Ethiopia were brothers and sisters? And how come I never heard from my government any relationship like from the emissaries, like the diplomats? How come?
You would never hear from them also this, because it's our history that's been taken away from us. We have to keep searching and finding our history, just like it was in Jamaica as well. Jamaica was part of that as well. The Caribbean, these are the things that get hidden for us, and these are the things that we as black people, if we don't, then these are the things that get taken away. Can you imagine how many years we've been in separation and we not knowing who we are, from the slave all the way through what's happened? I mean, here's a beautiful thing that you even teach me just now about the Battle of Adwa, with Asia Haiti taking part in it. This is a platform that we need for our history to be known to one another. I mean, can you imagine now you going back to Ethiopia now? Ethiopia will welcome you in an open arms, because you were a part of Ethiopia. You supported Ethiopia, in the war. So why aren't we in Ethiopia right now talking the same story now?
It is.
Why are we not there?
it is now, like, to realize how close our history.
Yes.
And I believe that Haile Selassie came in 80. He came there was official relationship, like friendly relationship,
Yes.
among officials and diplomats, to keep relationship, to make exchange and business among us. And how can we reinstate that, since my people now, most of them don't know how to read, and for them to understand that, they will have to understand history and constitution. And how you organize? Do you have a plan with your TNP?
Well, for me, being here, knowing and learning about who I am, and being in Ethiopia is a very spiritual place for me. I've lived there for over 8 years, and I came back again to England. England is my country, but Ethiopia is my Africa birth. So, for me, being in Ethiopia is such a spiritual place. We need to be there. We need to reclaim back our ancestry.
I see the passion.
Yeah.
I feel the emotion.
It's a passion for me for being in Africa amongst our people. Then, His Majesty, as I said before, gave us this piece of land, but He also left us a document for us to even gather ourselves together. And it's a constitution that He also left us to say, here is something that anytime you're ready to organize yourself, take it up and become a part of it and govern ourselves together so we can be as a nation again. And it's a paramount, it says, preamble, it says, we, the black peoples of the world, in order to effect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice, maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, do hereby establish and ordain this Constitution of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. That's the document He left us to go by. So He didn't just left us land, He left us a way for us to come together, organize ourselves, and we can do a lot of things with this Constitution.
Well, it is really important that you said that, and then this is the second time you name about the Constitution of Ethiopia. And then when I look at the date 80 help Ethiopia, it was about 1896. And when I decided while you were talking to go on Google to make some research, and I have found some document that I'm required to download, but they only give me. Oh, I can alternate to independent researcher. They only give me I don't know, I need to have permission. I have seen a lot of list of treaty between Haiti and America, and I believe that maybe they might have a treaty that can restore, their nationality and birthright. Because around here, most of the Haitian doesn't have any paper, not in regulatory. They are free people, but not being able to participate in the system, and that's really good. I am pointing to that direction. Also, I have found some a list of 3D. I'm gonna try to do my best, and knowledge is something that I do. And how do we bond then? Since Ethiopia, you have memories with Ethiopia, When I'm talking about Ethiopia, for me it's a word, but for you it's a picture, for you it's a smell, a sense, for you it's memories. And then I feel the same way when someone says Haiti, and since we look the same, the culture is the same. And how do we do that then? How can two separate families work to create one bank of people together? How is that is possible?
First of all, it's we have to say who we are. It tells us straight away, we, the black peoples of the world. That's the first thing it tells us. We, the black people of the world, not just Asian, not just around the world. We, the black people. This is how we can be together. I'm simplifying everything as much as I can. I'm not even going to go into the history. We're not even going to go into. We're just going to say, just simple words. We, the black people of the world. That's the preamble.
So that was a message. That's the only message that was being that we can hold on to. We, the black people in the world.
That's the first line of it. Yeah, we, the black peoples of the world, in order to effect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice and maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, to hereby establish and ordain this constitution for the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. Now, that tells us all about everything. As I said to you, I was been living in Ethiopia, the people, the beauty. One of the things as a young person while I was in England, and on the television and the news and everything, they used to show me this little child dying of hunger, dying of poverty, with flies all over their faces, and that's all it keeps showing me day by day, day by day. And I used to think, wow, why is it that this picture keeps showing over and over again? So I started to search a little bit about my history, just a little bit, and I realized that we were kings and queens, princes and princesses. They don't show us about our true heritage. They don't show us about our true self. They give us the worst part about us, that we don't even like ourselves. But when we really find who we really are, the kings and queens, the prophet, the prophetess, everybody about who we really are, that's the beauty. When it says we, the black people.
And so when we say we, the black people, so are you telling me that Ethiopia created a document that is a safe haven, a boat for everybody in the world?
Yes, if we are black people, yeah, sure.
So every black people in the world can be part and protected under Ethiopian
Constitution, yes.
Constitution. Wow.
Yes. It tells when you see, once you read it, and next time just tell your listeners, just read this document, and once you read it, then you say, wow. It allows you and tells you what to do in it, and show you how to create everything that you can think of, and how to do business, employment, having a bank, every single thing you can think of. That is one day we should talk about the Constitution itself, talk about the membership, how we can work together. Because can you imagine if I am a part of this and you are, and everybody around the world is a part of this one big umbrella, what it would be, what it would mean to each and every one of us?
It would
It's
mean
like
it would mean a lot. But in a more in a more in a more concrete manner, in a more concrete manner, how could that brings us together in the sense of doing business? What would be the procedure for us to start it, to conduct a conversation and to create, you know?
well, the first thing of us is, again, you have to find the like-minded people. The like-minded people who wants to work together, who wants to do things together, and then we become one umbrella under this constitution. So you start off with the first 25 people. Simple. It's so simple, it's unbelievable. Once you get to know each other and read about it, then you know about the Constitution. It's the most beautiful document, and it's hidden. Again, this is part of that was a history that was hidden from us. The Constitution was hidden from us. And again, what's good for us is always hidden away from us. Our history, who we are, whatever we do, you know, and we becomes a victim of the society.
Earlier, before you come on the microphone, sister, I had on the screen the symbol. I believe Ethiopia has the same because it's the same culture around the world. The symbol of the first bank, which is the first family. Every constitution trust is created by a grantor, an administrator, which is the woman, the highest form of society of government, and then the heir is the children. And this is how we use to develop our community. So how can we get this debate back together? How are we gonna talk to our brothers that are Christian pastors from many denominations? Because when I state these names, it's not because I just wanted to create a debate. Are they willing, or it is a choice, or do they don't know that we are from one culture, one people, and then we need to start having a conversation, not yet to decide which God, but which people. And do we have a plan on doing that?
You know, for me, I always say religion is division. Religion is division. There's only one God, no matter what name you call him by. One God, one creator. So when you talk about religion, it becomes division. So unless we look in our face and look at one another, that's who we are. We are our own keepers. We are our own brothers' keepers. You know, we've been so stigmatized with so much things. We become haters of our own self, haters of our own brothers. That's not who we are. We are lovers. You know, we're supposed to love our one another, take care of our one another. We look after our children, but everything is put in front of us to make this hard for us. But yet we can overcome these things simple by the fact of just LOVE, loving our one another, caring for our one another, sharing for our one another, putting the positive. You know, there's always 1,000,001 problems, and guess what? There's also 1,000,001 solution. But we always dwell on the problems. We don't put our mindset for the solutions, and yet the solution is always there. You know, our one another. We care about our one another. Even yourself now, by giving that platform and talking to each other, talking to your listeners, it's simple. You know, there's different ways of how we can hold our one another, care for our one another. And that's what it's about. My children say caring and sharing. Let's start from, I also believe, to stand up to what you believe in. And this matters, like, you know, don't do unto others that you would not like to be done unto yourself. It takes a village to raise a child, you know?
Well, basically,
it's all these.
if I understand correctly, you're basically talking about practical unconditional love, which is described by the Bible. But how I'm going to talk to my brother and say, don't worry, it's not about religion, while they believe the teaching of their pastors. The pastor didn't tell that. So are we must talk to the pastors because they won't do anything if the pastor don't say it. Maybe the pastors will be the one to talk to and say, hey, listen, remember, I wanted to tell you I'm your family, your cousin, and we blood related. Or
Okay. I'm going to ask a simple question. What does the pastor do that you can't do?
Nothing, but I grew up and see that there is a form of society that people need to go to get baptized, and you grew up knowing the person, you have friends and family, we're meeting in a church, so everybody listen to the pastor and the priest. So if the pastor don't say Ethiopia, so if I hear Bob Marley, it's Rastafari, it's a gangster. So maybe we shall educate our pastor, or to ask him, are they are they interested in history, just to have a full debate. Because if I try to talk to the people will say, ah, man, you crazy, the pastor didn't say that. You see what I mean?
But saying that now, it's simple. Even in the Rastafarian, we said read the Bible and find that truth for yourself, a chapter a day. If we're all gonna read the Bible, let's all pick the Bible up and read that page by page, that chapter by chapter together. It takes us 3.5 years to actually read the Bible together. So when the pastor is preaching, then you will also know what the pastor is saying.
Can you I'm trying to create a bridge right there. I already know how the pastors and the preach think. I grew up with them. Can you tell me a little bit about the Ethiopian culture? Are there any God? Or do you guys believe about God, or how the society function? Who is the highest form of society? Can you tell me a little bit about the culture, since you're more in tune in the culture, so I can have a perspective of it?
The culture in Ethiopia?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the culture in Ethiopia for me is it's a everlasting, because even Ethiopia. And they have a lot of fasting, they have lots of holidays, they have lots of feasts, and this thing. It says that Ethiopia is where our God loved to be. Why wouldn't you want to be in Ethiopia? When you look on it, the beauty and the people. Yes, they say they have all sorts of starvation and everything else. Which country or which part doesn't have any starvation or anything? But everybody takes that to be a problem. What about the rest of the beauty? They always take the negative and not the positive. And if there is starvation and whatever else, there's enough land for us to plant. There's enough food for us to, there's water now. Look at the dam now. There's water coming from the dam now. Ethiopia right now is one of the fastest country development. That's Ethiopia itself. Never mind Africa on a real. Africa is developing like nobody's business. Africa is taking back its rightful ruler right now.
Yes, Africa is getting back to business. I've seen them organize in social media. African artists started to glow because they create a community where they gather on one website. They started to create, they started to learn about how the world is moving because the world is not the same. Communication and banking is not the same. So they have a lot of Ghanaian, creating apps. Instagram was for an African, but it was bought by Facebook, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. Yes, we need to have our own platform because only when we are united and in communication and able to see each other. But there's one thing really fascinating about when you talk. When you talk about your people, you said the King Haile Selassie. When you talk about him, you said his majesty. And then the more I listen to you, I realize there's a part of my mind that say, oh, is this God? This is how I used to think. Everything majestical, everything honored and respected must be a saint. And then which picture and which color comes in my mind when I hear these words. And then I realized that maybe we had that in our culture, respecting each other as majesty, as master. How you Ethiopian managed to keep all that record. Ever since you fought the war with the Italian, they never get into the country, no NGOs, no nothing, they never get into the constitution or trying to be trustee. How did you manage to hold on to that education and to be passed on today?
That's a good one, really. How did we manage? I think it's never been colonized. It's just, it's not letting other people come in to rule the country, not being fooled by religion and by, the slave masters. These are the things that Ethiopia still hold up until this day. They're called unto their own people to help. They've never been bought or been sold.
Oh, guess what I just found based on what you just said. The first Bible, illustrated Bible, is made in Ethiopia. That's really impressive.
There you go.
I didn't know that.
You're very fast, aren't you?
Well, like I said, you understand why I tell you I need to move fast, because I'm a fast mind.
I noticed, and for that, no, you're one of the people. You're one of us that needs to, tell the people about what's really going on and how to unite our people together. It's good, absolutely.
The first world, the illustrated Christian Bible, is in Ethiopia and was handwritten in a day. Wow.
Wow. That's good.
And it's a big.
That's good.
If you see it on your screen, it's a really big book.
I can't see on my screen because I don't even want to touch my phone just in case.
I know, but in case you watch the show, wow. So.
Oh yeah.
How come my people don't know? They are searching Jesus in Jerusalem, going in a house, almost like a basement, and then they throw coin and they tell them this is where Jesus was born. And how come Jesus is born in Jerusalem and the original Bible is in Ethiopia? And then the Roman are the one talking about it.
Well, you know what? As I said, religion is division, so you're going to have to make up your own decision on this one. Because when it comes to that, I have my own different aspects of everything else. No, that's what I'm saying. We have to know who our creator is, who our God is. You know what I mean? Is it one God or is it another one that was being told who to praise? What is religion to you? Does it make you any better in life? Is it the truth you're seeking? It's a lot. I mean, you remember this before we was having a conversation, and I was we asked you a question when it was your birthday, and you said May. Now for the 12 tribe of Israel, we have Jacob had 12 children and one daughter. So we go by the 12 tribe of Israel, and each month or each moon represent a tribe. So when I ask you that question, it's like we in the. Can give you an example. Like we start from the Abib, which is in April, and we says April is the starting of the calendar month for us in the Rastafari, and even in Ethiopia, we say that's when you see the Christians come out and the fasting, and so we start off in April, which is Reuben, and of course the first thing you do when you're born is you open your eyes. So Reuben is it's April. Now May is Simeon, which you said it was your birthday, was May.
Yes.
And that's Simeon, and that's your nose. No, your ears. So you have Reuben, Simeon, your ears. Levi, which is June, your nose. Issachar, your hands. Reuben, Simeon. May, June, July. July is your heart. August is your hands, Issachar. September is your belly, October is Dan, which is your back. November, which is your parts. December is your thighs. January is your knees, and February is your calf, and also Benjamin, which is your feet. So we have the 12 goes down. So I have Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Joseph, and Benjamin, not mentioned, Sister Dinah. Yeah, so I hope I got that correct. So this is why we say the 12 tribe of Israel.
Yes.
Also,
I don't know if you're gonna watch this. I don't know if you're gonna watch the show after that. I just pull off some information from Egypt, like you just said, and then I already knew that the Italian people changed the month to their name. But when you started to say that, I realized that the months are parts, and then I see the same pattern in Egypt and Kush. When you're studying the pineal gland, they tell you the eye of Ra, the young is the sun, which is the right eye. The yin is the moon, which is the left brain, but the left eye, because the left eye is the right brain, which is the queen, the woman, and the superior. And they're telling you that every time you breathe, your breathe is half of your life. It's one half. Every time you feel, it's 1/30th. Every time you hear, it's 1/16. Every time you eat, it's 1/64th. And then you started to break it down, and it's the same knowledge from Kush, Sudan, and Ethiopia. And I realized that there is a philosophy developed among these people. We knew who we are. So how could we didn't have anything? How could we come up with month?
You see, while me and you is talking, there's information coming out that you're teaching me, and I'm teaching you. So it's called Each One Teach One. And this is what we need to know more about ourselves and know about our history. Because while we're talking, things are popping up. You're researching it as well. I'm giving you information. It's like we're a computer within our own self now. We're talking and it's coming out. Knowledge is increasing.
It's a month. It's 1/8 of the mind. Yes. And I agree. But how do we get back to this kind of teaching? Because we need to hear it in music. Artists need to be participating around the world. Poetry people need to say it, because this is what we hear in the media. If everybody is influenced and by knowing the truth, it is one thing I would really, really want to participate into it. Really, really, with all my heart.
The teaching comes within oneself, within the family. That's where the teaching starts, the family. And who are your family? That's where the teachings of everything start, by your family. Who are your family? These are the things that we learn about from when we was a child. For us, your grandma used to say something, or your grandpa used to say something, so that knowledge increases. So it's when you start learning in your family and teaching in the family. Start from home. That's what it is, you know. And then now knowledge increasing that we have television, we have computers, we have different forms of learning, you know, we have the media, you know, so we start increasing our knowledge.
That's
And also we have the spirituality. You know, that spirit, that spirituality, that's a lot as well. Because in these times, spirituality goes a long way. You know, it's not by coincidence anymore. The Father put us together. And look at we didn't know anything with each other up until how many days? 2 or 3 days ago? Is that long? And look at we now. We're talking about things. You know, it's a spiritual world as well. And there's wickedness in high and low places.
Wow, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. I'm trying to pull a constitution up, which is the Constitution of 1804. And then I remember earlier you said that the land of Ethiopia is for Ethiopian. Nobody else can get land in that country because the law of the Constitution doesn't allow someone that is not protected or doesn't have any birthright from the black family to have a land. I don't think it is disrespectful, you know?
I mean, the document is there for each and every one of us to learn, as I keep saying to you. But maybe that's something that another day that even your listeners can start asking questions, because I mean we're only throwing it out to them at the moment, or putting it out to them at the moment. Now, once they start reading it, and then they can come back with the questions, then we can have somebody else or another time and start talking about the Constitution, talking about more about ourselves, start talking about more about Africa. You know, it's not just the today talk; it's a continuation of the talking, of the, you know what I mean, letting everybody learn about this document, learn about themselves. It's history. Who are you? That's the question needs to ask. Who are you? Where am I from? Where is my family from? Where's my forefathers from? Where is it? What happened to us? Who are we? Once you start asking them questions, then your mind will start thinking over and over and over again. You know, do I belong here? Is this where I want to be? What is it? Start asking yourself those simple little questions. Is this what I'm about? Really? You see, we was all taken away from that precious, precious love. But we still have to find back ourselves. We have it inside of us. We really have it. As I said, you know, Asia for me, it was just like about Ethiopia, you know. It was when you talk about Asia, like, I don't want to go there. Same way with Ethiopia, I don't want to go there. But for me, I took that journey out to go there. How
it was for you? How was the experience, the travel expensive? Like, do we have a price? Because for us it's really far, you know, from where you are. How many days? Please tell me about that journey.
It's a couple of hours, please.
No, but from where I'm at.
Yeah, for you. And then even so, it's like from England to it was like 7 hours. The maximum was about 7 hours, you know, especially at night time. You're going to bed, you sleep and you wake up, really, and you're there, you know. Now, for me, it was about spirituality, going there. I wanted to go get away. I wanted to do something different. It's about, you know,
did you get initiated in the Rastafarians' rules?
Yeah, it's about my belief. And then, you know, being here, it was like, no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. You know, I want to see my people. I want to see when I get up in the morning, I can go outside and can get like a sunshine in my body and I can breathe some nice fresh air. That's what I wanted, you know. So it was about that for me, getting that experience in Africa. And, you know, to come in and see what it's like here again. What do I do? How can we help each other? What can we do for our people, our community? It's so much in need.
So do the people speak English? What is what is the language? How do you fit in? How do you speak? Do you?
You know the language when you speak it. I don't speak Amharic, and I've been there for 8 years. So what is it that kept me going? You see, body language. That's the one that keeps you going. Body language. You know, you have something about you that it automatically you communicate with somebody. It's a feeling that it's weird to even say so, to be honest with you, because I don't speak the language. You know, I learned a few words, tinish words, but you know, I don't really know. My children do. So, but I communicate with the people, you know, and we get on together. And of course, I learned some of the language, you know, like basic ones as we're going along. But I've been there for 8 years and still can't speak the language. But I'm still there and I still survive. So, you know, it's not even about the language. It's about how we care for each other and how we take care of each other. And those are the things, those perfect one love.
Well, I believe that it makes sense. It makes sense. And while I'm talking to you, I am in Ethiopia right now on the map. Try, you know, people around me, people who's watching the live, they're also watching what I'm seeing. And I am in a hotel in Ethiopia right now, and I see the lands are basically building together. You have some infrastructure, you have some downtown.
Yes,
I never thought that, you know.
And you know, it's so true, because even when I went went to Ethiopia, people are talking about the monkey's going to get me, the lion's going to eat me, this going to do it. And I'm like, huh? I have to send pictures back and things for my people to say, look, you have 5-star hotel there with swimming pool, you have clothes, you have food, you have every single thing you can think of. You have big TV screen TV, you have everything that you want, every single thing that you want. You can be comfortable in Ethiopia.
Because
it's there.
You see the power of an image. Every time I heard about Ethiopia is the World Olympics, and all the pictures are born kids. So in my mind, I was surprised to see when I was going to the pictures for Ethiopia. I was surprised to see TV, PlayStation, projectors, you know. I'm watching the land, I see the house. People are really national there. I believe there is a really passed on constitution education right there, because people are really national. Because you see that the colors of the nationality, the red, the green, and the gold is everywhere on every painting. It's on every head. So sometimes, like you said, if body language is an expression, so what I'm seeing that I can take it as there is deeply Rastafarian with the cross of the Ankh. This is really a lot right there. To see how they have every symbol of Egypt. And then I don't hear like conversation between Ethiopia and Egypt. Well, since you guys in Africa also.
And can you imagine now we have the dams there now, so it's even going to get better. You know, it's in terms of even our economics. You know, they just opened an airport, part of the airport in Addis Ababa.
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia is going to be on a horizon.
Africa
is on the horizon, full stop.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
And do you want to be a part of, or do you want to separate yourself? Do you want to come together? Are you my brother's keeper?
But you know what is really surprising? The fact that I see that you guys have cities just like Haiti, but you see, I see beautiful hotels and buildings, but you guys are still planting.
We have, sorry, say that again, please.
You still attached to the land. In Haiti, people are ashamed to plant. They want to wear boots. They want to be everything else. But I see that you're still planting. I see the people planting like back home. You still have your cow. I don't know we have this anymore.
Yeah, saying that, yes. I mean, there's a video with me talking about the returnees of the Rastafarians, and the first thing we see was a cow and my children playing with the cows and everything. It's nature. We have every single thing there. It's nature, you know? The cows, the goats, the cattle, every single thing is there. Every single thing that you want and desire is still there in Africa.
Wow.
How we achieve it, what do we do? I mean, to be honest, when you look at some of those houses in Africa, wow, it's not even houses, it's like palace. You know, how many quarters and how many, it's some nice, beautiful houses. And yet then there's poor people also. So it's everything that you want. There's rich and poor, you know? And, you know, to be honest with you, when people say, for me again, I give you something. When I say poor in Ethiopia, I'm thinking poor. It's not because they're poor. It's because they choose that way of life. Some of them choose that way of life. And they don't want anything else different. That's what they know. That's their own culture that they're in. You know, it is who they are, what they want it to be.
I hope that I'm not confused, but I see that there is a community. The people are dressed traditionally, just like Muslim, but they're still wearing the green, the red, and the gold.
Well, that color, what they're it's not like the dressing. That's the cultural dresses, the Ethiopian dresses. You know what I mean? That's their culture. And when they wear the garments, it's absolutely beautiful. Yes, there are also westernized ones as well, but they culturally keep the culture.
Wow.
They have the tradition of the red, gold, and green, you know.
I'm looking at the market right now with everybody else, and I'm looking at the picture, and all I'm saying is things that I'm...
With the market, you're getting excited with it. You need to go to Ethiopia soon as well, because, you know, once you start getting involved, you know, it's like, wow, you want to visit that place, you know?
Don't worry.
Africa is a place that we all need to, even if it's a visit.
We
all need to go.
I am already home as far as me. Don't worry for me. I'm a true yard man in case you don't know.
It's a pleasure to even talk to you, and because I'm learning from you while we are talking at this moment, you know. I hope our listeners need... you're going to play some music for our listeners. Do we play some music for our listeners?
Oh, you would want me to sing for some tune?
I want you to play some music and we enjoy ourselves while we're here, and, you know, rock to the music too, of course. I want to hear your music. I want to hear you talk. I want to play music as well, if you don't mind. That's good at it.
Well, if we want to do that, there's one thing we can do. I can give you a little pause, and then you can call me. You can just call in the show, you know?
Yeah, we can play some music. Why not? I don't want the people to listen to me, and is it okay for them? What's our listeners saying? Are they engaging? What's the report?
I'm gonna ask. Everybody press Y. Tout le monde qui t'a remen nous continue dialogue là, monde qui comprend ni sur Facebook ni sur YouTube et sur Instagram tout, press Y parce que les besoin connaître ce que ça l'a dit ya, les doit continuer dire. Donc les besoin connaître like how many of you that react. Ça veut dire tout le monde qui t'a remen continuer dans des culture ou les t'a remen connaître ce que n'a compose, ça des musique ou bien est-ce que n'a react. Donc les demander I asked them, sister, on Facebook, both of the Facebook page and both of the YouTube page, if should you continue to talk, and I asked him to press Y if it's a yes and an N if it's a no. Based on my understanding, the yes on Facebook are popping up and the yes on YouTube are popping up, so they still want to hear for more.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely. Thank you very much. We can continue talking, you know, enjoy the conversation while we're going on, you know, and as I said, we can talk about each other's culture. It's good.
And I have a plus, I have a bonus. I don't use WhatsApp, as you guys know, but everybody that has WhatsApp, that has a question or want to talk to the sister, you can call to the Carabao phone, and then I will put you into the sister so you guys can make exchanges. Any of you that has a question, feel free to call. Of course, you speak English, right? If you speak English.
And I'm learning your language while we're talking. Because that's another thing, your language. Because while I was in Jamaica, we always, when they ask what language does Jamaica speak, they always say Creole. And I'm like, really? You know, and it's until when I become a little bit older, then they say there's no such thing as a Creole. So I want to know a little bit about your language, what the Asians speak. What is it? Is it Creole, or is it French, or is it broken French? What is the language?
I am a fan of language, not an academic French, but I am a passionate of culture. And when I check out the Merriam Dictionary since 1828, the definition of the word Creole only means, definition of the word Creole, often capitalized, is related to Creole or their language. The definition of Creole is related for being a highly seasoned food, typically rice, etc. But the noun Creole, the noun of Creole means a person of European descent, born especially in the West Indies or in the America. So you see, the Moors losing the battle in 1491 against Italy, which is the Christian people. And then we decided to put our gun down to French and Spanish black descent. So they might have one tip of blood. A Creole is a European that have one drop of blood in the family line, but we are Haitian. But the only thing is, in our constitution right now, it is stated that we speak two formal corporate language, which is the French and the Creole, which is not intended to be. It's like it is realized that we didn't wrote the Constitution as it is. Someone else did, because our ancestors would never make that mistake. And yes, we speak a Creole that is a amalgam of Spanish, Latin, English. There is a little bit of every language in it, French, and that's why I started to be curious about Creole. For instance, Haiti means Ai. I traced the word Ai etymologically to Egypt, means Ator, means the mother. See, it's a preposition. See, it's a preposition. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. But in Haiti, ti madam, ti bateau, when you love something so much, like you say, dear, love, chérie, it's an affection. So it's an affection to the mother, Haiti, and even you said it in reverse, Tiai. Okay. And then the more I research the etymology, I see some resonance in the Haitian culture, in a lot of similarities, and especially with how you guys are living. You live in the same in Kingston, Jamaica too. I can tell you that, the same culture. The only thing is, we are so Christianized. If we see weed, we see the devil. This is the only thing. We are not. Yes, we are not educated to know that weed is a compound used to cure AIDS. We are not educated that weed cleans the pineal gland. We have a more Christian root, so everybody think the same, believing that the original culture that you use in today is the one that we used to have. It's because through learning, it's because I learn a word every day. It's because I learn and walk along with the dictionary. I started to be a little confused, and then I started to, find my own path. And we just meet exactly on the moment of my life. I am still searching for that light, and you are part of my questioning. That's why I was so happy and to talk to you and to make that exchange, because I am found. But I am trying, I was lost. I am found, but I'm trying to know where to go. So you see?
Well, it's interesting what you say even about weed. I mean, this is why people, can you imagine, even as a Rastafarian with weed, and some people call it ganja, marijuana,
Refa.
So whatever names they call it by, but it's a cure. It's a medicine. And look at it now. Look how many things it's curing, and it always been a cure for a lot of things. But because again, it's been hidden from us, and this is why we, as even the Rastafarians, got so much criminalized about it. But guess what? Now, it becomes so much known that now, even it become a medicine now that everybody is running for it. Now everybody wants the plant. And to plant it up and things like that, and the economics of it. So, my people, it's called about education. When you see something, don't fight it. Learn about it. And this is another prime example as what's been taken away, because the herbs is healing of the nation.
That is
from the Greens.
That is really interesting when you say that, and then I check. while you're talking about how ignorant we're not supposed to be. And while talking, I made some research, and then this research came out on Forbes magazine in July 13, 19, exactly at 5 a.m. ETD. And listen what I'm hearing. Abbreviation of cannabidiol, a non-intoxicated compound found in cannabis hemp and plant, is going viral across the globe. Hail for the natural anecdotal anti-inflammatory pain relief property, CBD, is being added to every skincare food. However, CBD just one of the hundreds of compounds inherited from cannabis plant. Even though the THC, the CBD, or the gardening, all the bars, there are myriad of other cannabis compounds. Based on what I know, 1,000 product comes from cannabis. Paper, cloth, 1,000. And Henry Ford create a car from everything to the tire with cannabis. But it was rejected because even the car was burning cannabis oil, non-intoxicating. It's like, but the other
It was getting high. It was going high. It was going too high.
cleaning the atmosphere, and but the other corporation won because they wanted to sell everybody to be dependent on petroleum. It's crazy. Cannabis is 1,000 product. Is it a cannabis worth the price of gold now, madam?
Everybody's investing in cannabis right now. You know, it's a herb. It's a healing herb. You know, if you got headache, if you got anything, of course, some things, some people are allergic to certain things. Don't get me wrong, you know, but it's a medicine. It's how you take it. It's whatever it is that you need to intake of it. You know, it's not gonna. It's. Why is it all the time that anything that's good for us is always
Well, based on my history, I believe in on Oregon, they started to I don't know, from base what I know, they declared that cannabis was the number one substance to stop since the Mexican was smoking it, and they started to go around the world with the United Nations and to burn everything. And I believe that for some reason, based on alliance between, you know, diplomatic relationship deals between America and Haiti, they started to penalize marijuana. People getting arrested when I was a child from President Francois Duvalier. If you had dread, you get arrested. It was a real fight. I grew up with the side of that young youth that fought to have our hair free. I don't grow my hair because I prefer to have it cut. It's easier to manage, and simply if I am in a fight, I have less thing to grab, you know. But yes, I am part of this generation that fought to have our hair grow. We were arrested for growing up looking down or for smoking. We were like, you know, we didn't see Rastafari in the good way. See?
But even saying that, even as a Rastafarian, not all Rastafarians smoke. I mean, that's another thing. You look at somebody and you judge them by even knowing who they are. Just because I grow my hair doesn't mean I smoke ganja. You understand me? And people who even don't grow their hair, they smoke ganja. Why is it that we have to be so judgmental with a lot of things? If there's something wrong, and there's just like any other herbs, you look for it up and you check it out and see if it's for you. Look how many cures that it is that even now, cancer, CB oil, pain. Look how many things you just mentioned even in terms of even ganja. You know what I'm saying? And yet, how many Rastafarians got criminalized for the ganja? And look at it now. It's like everybody wants it now. The economics right now for ganja is like, as you said, it's probably like twice the same as gold.
Yes.
You know, the market's going.
Yes, and
yet
then
we pay so much, and yet, even for the Rastas, they're not even taking it up as part of. They're being so much criminalized about it, and now they can't even claim it, because the Rastas supposed to be the ones for economics right now, because we pay that price for that for sure, and that penalty for and that jail sentences and everything else that went wrong, you know. So It should be Rasta, really. Should be on top for everything in terms of even the ganja or the cannabis, whichever name you call it by.
At the same token, we need to remind our people listening that not every dreadlocks is a rasta. A dreadlock is just the way you let your hair grow. Sometimes a dreadlocks can be a samba. A rasta is someone in a mystical personal path, someone that is called and came to grow and to help humanity. It's the same name you use in the Haitian culture to call it a hunga. In the Haitian culture, they call it a hunga, right? Does the Rasta does the same thing? The hunga is the central authority in a small town. He's the one doing psychology, talking to the people, organizing them, bring everything together. He's also the healer sometimes, dealing with the psychological problem.
The way of living.
He knows he knows the liberty, know how the soul of these people work, so he knows every problem comes from this. Sometimes he bring a deck of cards, sometimes he bring a shot of rum and then summon the spirit and make the people release the energy. That's how they call it. They call it samba. The Hungans are as the Rastafarian. But there is a little confusion among my people. There is a little confusion as far as Rastafarians they don't know what is it the standard. They are doing exclusion. Like if you're part of the move, you have to be dread, or it's kind of being mixed up. But they're still holding proudly the colors, but they add black to it, add to the red and the green and the yellow. They put black to it sometimes. But this is what they're doing. They I believe there's true Rasta still, but they are practicing exclusion. And they are more being seen as political because, the cultures make you stand as a human being, and as a human being you got right. So when a dreadlock stands for his right, like a normal people protesting, there could be young youth doing some, little destroying property, but minor thing. But when the camera gets a Rasta, it gets a zoom in it, and he's gonna be on every picture, on every news that this Rasta did that. And it was a way to suppress expression and forgetting that we are human too. But when you are Rasta, you do things, you are twice penalized. First by your own society expecting you to do bad, and second by people try to get you under the rule of law.
It's like everything else, there's people who stand up to what they believe in, knowing who they are, even the way of his imperial majesty. That's what you would say the Rastafarian would really come from, his majesty and who he is and what he stands for. That's the way of liberty, his majesty. Emperor Haile Selassie I, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the earth's rightful ruler. He had so many titles. And who was he really? That's one of the things. Who was he? So when the Rastafarians follow this, he says, even Marcus Garvey said, look to the east when he should see the black king shall crown. It's so much of our history don't get me wrong, I'm just listening and learning the same way. I believe in simplicity, just learning the small basic of everything. That's me. And that's even probably the way of the Rastafarians here, but that manism and how we dress and who we are and what we stand up to and how we stand up to what we believe in, and these are the things that we should be doing, and as part of Asia, they've been, I would say, brainwashed, would you say? Then
yes,
everything
we are.
else in everything else, no, we are one another. We are the black people. You don't look at your brother and say because he's smoking that you're better than him or something else, or he's better than you. You're still who you are, that one nation. And we have so many things to divide us. We have religion, we have, I think religion is the main one, really.
Yes.
That's the main one I would suggest. who we are.
So
They came with all sorts.
from this debate, from this beautiful exchange that I have with you now, Sister Wendy, so I, if I may understand correctly, I would understand that the best thing now to balance each other is to start to find culture of a belief.
Yeah, that would be one part. That would be one part. The culture of belief. Yeah, I would suggest that. That also separates us, because my culture is different from you. So a culture of belief, that would be good.
A culture over belief, because belief etymologically means something that is not based on anything proving right. It's just an assumption. But knowledge, it is something that is based on something that I can be prove, experiment, and reprove again, which is mean true. So I would believe the true about us is the culture. And then the assumptions are the religion. So we should try to walk to the religion. But when I look and study society, I realize that education has a language.
Let me ask you. Sorry.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, you may.
Okay. All right. There's two people walking together. Yeah. So just said two black people walking together. Yeah. And take for instance. They fall down and you run to help them. Are you going to stop because of it's a religion? You're going to think, oh no, he's Muslim or he's Rastafarian. Are you going to stop and don't look after that person? Or are you just going to go because your heart tells you to go and look after that person?
From the activity in the moment, since I am not someone that qualify or judge people based on their religion, and then in the activity that they are in, the moment, I will intervene without hesitation in helping everybody, even though they have even though they had a T-shirt stating which religion they would believe in. I believe in human.
Sorry.
But
I mean, even to give that person a drink of water, are you gonna stop because they're not of my religion or my culture, or are you gonna think, oh, that's my brother over there, they need a drink of water? You know what I'm saying?
yes,
It's just simple. It's just that simple-minded to say, look, that's my brother, he needs a drink of water. Oh, because he might be a Christian or he might be a Rastafarian, I'm not gonna help. I'm not going to give him water, which is dying of thirst.
we would not get the conversation to there. Of course, if you're Rastafarian in Haiti, you have your neighborhood, you have people that see you grow. But once you go 15 miles away, yes.
I'm sorry, I was just hypothetical speaking. I wasn't just, I'm just saying the way how the level of all the system have us, We think first and then we act. We don't act and say, oh, well, this person needs a drink of water. Oh, you're going to stop. Oh, I might get in trouble because he's a Rasta, or I might get in trouble because somebody might be watching me because he's whichever religion it might be. No, I'm not supposed to do that. But this is your brother. He needs a drink of water.
This is what I would suggest.
You understand what I'm saying? You know where I'm coming from?
Yes.
Yeah. So let our brother be our brothers and our sisters be our sisters, and not let religion be our division.
I say hooray to that, but and it inspired me to bring another dialogue forth, Sister, if you allow me. If culture is the dialogue of bodies, people, every time there is a celebration of a saint, of a patriarch, of an ancestors like Haile Selassie, the memory of the ancestors brings us together in our best colors. In honor of the ancestors, and especially when the ancestors is connected to a constitution, people proudly make a better day. It's a new dawn. We are wearing the colors of the constitution. We don't see our differences anymore because the meeting, the situation, the circumstances reunite us to celebrate. I am celebrating your presence and you are celebrating mine. But for a long time, much of us, and I can speak for myself if you understand, I've been living in the Western community for a while, and I have realized that I'm being transformed. Sometimes, even though with my good heart, I am tired, with no patience even for myself. So when a circumstances is created where we celebrating culture, meeting each other, making exchanges, food and secret grandmama recipe and some good reefer, and I believe we this is how the ancestors created better bone. To create dialogue, we don't meet just because we are at work and we are on a break, and I have to shorten my conversation in a sense that I have to rush, because in my mind and subconscious the priority on my soul is to go to work for someone, but not I have to learn to stop creating business for myself and having time. This is where economy is a really big part of family and culture. When I have making my own money means I have control of my time, so I can enjoy a refa with you, history, a cup of tea, sharing music, sharing playlists, and we could talk on and on all day. When we control our time, would it be a really important thing if we started to see how we could create a marketplace? Because creating business among us is the one most important thing if we want to manage our time properly, because we need time to study. I need to study from you. I need time.
We sustain ourselves. You know, let me ask you, what's your favorite food in Haiti? What's the food?
Just like you say, the Emperor Selassie, maybe I will be the one, the emissary to bring you to Haiti. There is something that cannot be explained, sister. I have so many food. You're
getting me back now. You can. Well, I would love to. I'd love to visit him at some point. But you know, my heart right now desires for Africa. I said to myself, I wouldn't want to go back to the Caribbean, because I feel like right now it's all about Africa for me. That desire to go to Africa, but saying that, you know, I'm on his father's work, you know, so anywhere he takes me, if that's what he wants from me, who am I to refuse? He said, who am I to refuse an invitation like that, you know?
Don't worry, it's not in a rush, it's not a priority, but I'm telling you the word that I wanted to use and I wanted to explain is like, you have to taste it for yourself and have your own idea.
I can imagine, wow. And you know, that would help me, because that negative would, you know, just disappear. Just like when I went to Ethiopia and I saw the beauty of the land, of the people, how welcoming they are. Oh, good I felt. Yes, there was good and bad with everything else where you go, but overall, general, the beauty of it all, you know. I went through some experiences, don't get me wrong, but when you go through the bad experience, when you look at the good one, you know, I mean, it's like, wow, I'd rather be here than anywhere else, no matter what's going on, because that's where my heartstring is.
How about the infrastructure? Do you have electricity, phone, and internet company? And how do you use that to implement your businesses? Is it incorporated? Yes.
My brother, we have everything in Ethiopia. We have white is there in Africa. You know, there's water, there's electricity. You know, I mean, there's 5-star hotel with swimming pool, there's houses with pools, there's everything you can think of. So all you need is, just like everywhere else, money, honey.
All right. Which is interesting, because when I look at the pictures online, it's showing people on the land, but when I look at the pictures, it seems I see the cities, but I don't see where they are connected, but I see the land. And when I see the land, I realize that they are small land, like small traditional houses, just like in Haiti. Because in Haiti, we it's been a while we don't have electricity. I am not ashamed to tell that. The electricity is not part of what is development is. You know, development is personal and spiritual, but it's been a while we don't have electricity. And in a world where everything depends, like phone, so the country moves really slow. It's either we get united or we find another way to administrate our own affair so we can be focusing on priorities. But now I'm not ashamed to tell you that I live with 2 years without electricity. Do you know how I do to get wrinkle out of my pants and some t-shirts? I put them under the mattress. Under the mattress.
Oh, okay, that's a new one for me. Okay, good. I mean, even when I'm in Ethiopia, we don't have electricity sometimes because the light post might drop down or something might happen, so we don't have light. But guess what? Where I come from in Jamaica, we've been trained as well. You know, we call it the coal fire. We learn to make up the fire. If there's no light, we learn to put the candle on. You know, we learn to put the oil in the lamp, whatever it takes. That is part of who we are. That's part of the culture. That's part of the basic. Because guess what? It's a way of survival, same way. We weren't all born with electricity. The sunshine is our light, the darkness, you know. So we get up in the morning. What is the light? That's the light God gives us. And nighttime is bedtime. When it's dark, you go back to your bed. You know, when the cock crows, it tells you the time. That's part of the liberty.
It is.
You know, that's part of our liberty. So yeah.
The more I hear you talk, the more I realize our education was used to educate the military, because every single child living in a country or in a backyard, you know how to make your own fire, to do your own lamp. And the more I analyze while you're talking and I'm watching the pattern and the pictures on my mind, I realize it was an education for survival, and you just said it. And we need to come back with that survival skills again, because survival directs us to priority. Survival directs us to what is important. Electricity is not important, but land is important. Cultivating our own food, everything that we need in our backyard is important. The autodetermination mindset is important. Our own education, transferring back from the ancestors to now so we can govern in their own name and respecting what they fought for, is important. And
so, all right.
Yes.
So can you imagine now being in America, okay, and there's no light, there's no electricity, and there's no way how would you survive?
That is why during the corona, I have a shorting of electricity, and then I panic because it's a new place that I'm living in, and then I wouldn't go far because I don't know which way if I don't have a GPS. That's why I bought a private phone. I'm stocking fire burn all the cottonwoods. I have a big yard, so I have all the wood just stay there in case of emergency. I got the pick.
So that's something else for you. But I mean, can you imagine if you're not coming from the can you imagine coming from where you are and nobody else know about this, because you know the Caribbean, you know what I'm saying, you learn that, you know, if the light goes, you can put a candle on, you know. If the fire goes, there's no electric, you can put a coal fire on. So you know how to survive. So
Yes.
being outside of Haiti, you know how to survive. You understand me? And that is the beauty of everything. We learn. It's like me being in Jamaica and coming to England. It was like, I know how to do the basic. You know, as you said, yours was underneath putting your clothes underneath the mattress. Ours was learning by the coal fire. You put the iron, which is a big iron, and getting it and iron your clothes then.
Oh.
So that was another way of our culture. We didn't have to go by electricity. You know, water. If there was no water, you go to the well. You know, how do you treat the water? You know, if the water, and it's a rainwater, you put your bucket out and you get water. It's just our culture, our way of surviving. So we don't be knocking it. I'm not saying you directly, but I mean, say don't knock what we learn. It's still part of our survival.
Well, it's really interesting the way you're talking and you pointing towards how important education is. And then when I'm listening to you, I realize that we got an issue. Then the issue that we have is that education in my country, in the book, it doesn't talk about none of this. In the book, they don't talk about culture and the whatever it's been stated in the educational book, this is what everybody grow and learn to do and learn how to think, and we repeating Socrates, we repeating Nietzsche. This is the only philosopher we know. We don't know no black philosopher, and then we have no interest. And at a young age, even Christ is a European. All the intelligent men I grew up look up to was an European, and it's only when I started to be.
You've been taught to learn all these things, even the Bible. Come on, the first, what does it say? In the beginning, God created His own image. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? What is your own image? What is your image? In the beginning, God created His own image. Who are you? Sorry, I just have to touch on that one. Just that little part.
well, now I know better. But when I was growing up, it wasn't a discussion at all. When the sun rises, I am more busy.
And it never will be.
Yes, and the question that you raised, it was how finally try to have that dialogue now, and to change the narrative on the books and make people being more aware about their surrounding, their reality, the food, the land, the time, the life, the enjoying. Because all we do is working. It's not in the Constitution.
How we do? All right, we're working. Well, who are we working for? What are we working for? How about that one? Let's ask that question.
Well, we're working for someone else. We're buying money with our soul.
There you go. Now, if we start changing everything and start saying, this is what I'm doing for my people. This is what I want for my next legacy. You know what I mean? Okay, so I can't afford a big car right now. I can't afford a big house right now. But you know what? Let's even teach that child to even how to even build that house. You understand me? Let's educate them and say, okay, the way how the system's got everybody, it's about materialism. That breaks up, but guess what? Your spirit don't break. Your spirit will always be there. That's why they put all these things in front of us, to be focusing on these things. We need to focus on who we are, our one another, how to better our one another, not how to get a bigger TV tomorrow morning or a bigger sofa or something.
Talk,
you know what I mean?
Sister, talk.
Yeah, even if you go into the Bible, it says what is it? It's easier for a camel to go through the needle and for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God.
Yes, of
Those
course.
Simple, yeah. So it's telling you about these riches. There's no point you being a rich man and you can't share. You see your brother starving and you're not going to help them to even buy a bread or a glass of water, and you have all this money. What is the money to you? Are you going to eat the money? But yet your brother is there starving. These are just the simple little things amongst us.
You make
We need to.
You can finish, sister. All due respect.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry.
No, I you can finish. I want you to finish your line.
No, I was just saying, all the money in the world. You can have all the money in the world. What's it going to do? What's it doing for you? Yet your brother is over there who's starving. You know what I mean? And you can't even say, help your brother to even get a glass of water or a bread you don't want to share. What is the money to you? Money, my mother says money was meant to spend, not to, you know what I mean? What do we do with money? They said money is the root of all evil. What is it? It's a tool. It's a tool to help each other. It's not a tool to say I've got the most money. That's not going to save you. It's what you do with it.
You just remind me of a line in a form of a line passed down by the ancestors in the Constitution. It says, pour son haïtien, faut que son bon papa, un bon soldat, faut payer taxe, planton pied bois. Sou gen lumière, c'est bail sak nan fait noir. C'est comme ça nous rive là, puis go jamais lié ça c'est réglementation. In English, it would be translated as that to be Haitian, you have to be a good father, a good soldier. You got to pay your dues, taxes. And you have to be you have to know the brotherhood and helping another. And if you have the light, this is where your riches come from. In Haiti, light is riches. Light is intelligence. Light is on this grown rot, and there's no bank to hold that down. That fire needs to be passed down to generations, so it keeps lit. It keeps being lit. You see, that's the spirit. In Haiti, in the Constitution, not in the mind of the people, but in the Constitution, knowledge is money.
Yes, education is a key. It's a two-sided sword. When you're educated, that's what happens. You teach your children, teach your elders, teach everybody. Pass on that baton to each and every one of us. What is it really about? Who are we? Who are we? And when you can answer that question, then we're good to go.
By listening to you, sister, I get a lot of hope. A lot of hope that finally that conversation started to be inside of my people's mind. And then you have to understand, us Asian being here for a long time, even on Facebook, we can even connect to another community. You see what I mean? And to finally seeing that a community is feeling the same need. And then we thought that we were alone, because on Facebook through the algorithm and based on the people you speak to every day, they keep you in the same community and keep you separated.
But you know what, my brother? We can all make a difference, because just like you say, in the separation of our people, you're my brother. I don't want to see you suffer. But what are we going to do about it? There's people who's listening right now. We can come together. We can make that difference. We can really make that difference, Whatever we do, we just have to come together and say that mindset. I want to help my people. What can I do to help my people?
Well, usually in history, there is always something, they call them treaties, between two people. There's always a contract. You see what I mean? There's always a treaty between two nations. There's always a contract. And then in that contract, if our two families or two nations used to work or being entitled or being bloodline, they will have a treaty somewhere attached to their constitution, and that will stay in being respected globally. And I believe there's always a treaty. There's a treaty that created the Pan-Africanism movement. There's a treaty that created the AU, the African United. There's a treaty.
Yeah.
So we just need to come from with treaties and started to respect.
For me, for me, the movie, you see that word contract? I don't really like that word contract. It seems like I'm getting conned out or something. Words as well. Words sound and power. The AU is there also. We are the sixth diaspora for them as well. We've been recognized. Even, I think it was yesterday, we was talking about even our constitution, and we was talking about Haiti. And there's about 4 people. They say, Haiti? Wow! Those people are strong. They're powerful. Look what they did. But because of what the economics has happened to them, or things have gone away. And to be honest, I don't know anything when it comes to that. I was listening and learning. But the people had a passion to say they would, anything that Haiti right now that it can do to help Haiti, they would do it. You know what I mean? So once again, there's people out there who can help. And there's people here, me talking to you, people listening. We can help one another. If you have a bread, why not share half, even quarter? Just give a little bit. You know what I mean? Especially the ones who was in the out in the diaspora, put something back into your country. Do something for your people. once you start doing it, others will start as well.
Wow. Guess what? I don't know if it's a good news, but I will need to re-verify it. But since I have it from PBS on the website, it says that despite reports, Haiti not joining the African Union. It was on 20th of May 2016. The African Union is denying that Haiti will become the organization first non-African member. Straight that only African state can join the African Union. Haiti will not be admitted as a member of the state. Next summit will be held in Kigali, Rwanda, as erroneously reported by several media outlets. The organization stated they have a prepared statement, which is I can get access to, but it says Haiti unique from the rest of the Caribbean. Much of its culture history is directly linked to the country like Benin, Sierra Leone, and Togo. Toussaint Louverture, who led the Haitian rebellion against the French in 1791, was of Beninese descent. Haiti established itself as a symbol of a black independent country to join the United Nations in 1945. But despite the Caribbean nation's strong tie to the continent, it will instead remain an observing member in the African Union. Haiti has held an observer status since 2012, but petitioned to be an associate member the same year. The petition has never been ratified. Instead of the African Union may vote to establish what it calls 6 regions comprised of delegates for all over the world representing the African diaspora. So what does that mean? Do we have to make some update and regenerate?
You know what?
Yes.
I was listening to you, but because when you read something and you listen, you don't get the fullness of it.
I can send you the link if you want, my sister.
Please do. Yeah, please. I would love to. But saying that, no, you look like to me it seems like Haiti is in a good spot to even whatever it is, and if it's been denied or what, I can't really pick up on it here, but it's something that it needs to be.
Well, if it's 2016, somewhere down the line, we had a president that was a little more pro-American per se. They wanted to make deal with America somehow. I believe this is where that's happening.
Okay, so if that's the case, then my brother, there's others who can take that up. Look at the document, read it. Again, even with the Constitution of His Imperial Majesty and with the work what he did, and His Imperial Majesty is the head of the AU, so that alone got something to tell you that there is a tie there, there's a bond there as well.
Well,
do you understand what I'm saying?
We are tied to Sierra Leone. We are tied to Ethiopia itself. We are tied,
right.
But I don't understand how. But I put tell you, we have a president right now doing some move. For instance, Haiti fought to liberate Venezuela, and the president that we have, and he votes against Venezuela in the United Nations. You see, maybe he was a little ignorant of the rule and of the law. Like I said, the government we have a little pro-American. I don't know what kind of deal that they have. Maybe I hope that these are the good deals. But president, when I'm started to read, President and Haiti are doing moves that are not based on history and that are not based on law. You see what I mean? That's why I'm making the research and try to inform people more so they can be aware of the international personality of Haiti around the world, because so we have to conduct ourselves on harmony with the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. You see what I mean?
I was just looking at the document. Really, I'm gonna read it.
Yes, we're gonna make some research.
There's many ways we can discuss this even offline as well. This is something that's interesting to even take up in even the Constitution of what His Majesty gave us. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to pull that Constitution now, because I can pull it now?
No, it's not. It's not a matter of pulling. No, I think this is something that get an update on it, because this is like
Yes.
2016. If we what update would that be on it?
You think that you can find some contact in the African United, and then we could discuss that matter, and then to see how we could update with them, because if it's in the public record, it means it has to be corrected, because we are part of the AU. No discussion at all.
This is interesting, Murphy. Really interesting. As I said, this is about education and about each one teach one.
And we need to. There is censoring. I didn't wanted to say online, but while I am with you, I realized that there is a censoring on my end, on my browser, and I'm using an encrypted browser. There are certain documents I wanted to pull in while talking to you. I cannot find them, so I send you the document and send it says PBS. Make your research on your own, because I don't trust the internet anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
And especially I've been doing this for a little while, so people that are following me know that sometimes I might be live and they can change the definition of the same word on the screen while people watching. That's how they witness. So do some little bit research on your end, and then if true, I would be requested, if possible, on your hand, if you could wish to help to make me find the proper documents so we can file in as the people, because we no longer want to be governed by people, by government. We need to be our own people. So taking our own decision and speak for ourselves and our self-interest. So if you can on your end verify with the African Union, and then if petition can be filed also, because we need to correct that.
Yeah, and as I said, everything changes by the minute, by the second, by the hour, by the year. And this says May 2016 is now 2020, and a lot of things has happened in the over the years. So let's see what the update would be, and see. You can send some feelers out. I have my other colleague, he loves history. There's some young people who love history. There's people that in the AU themselves you can even talk to and say, look, what's happening here? Our brothers would like to know what is this about. I can ask a question to one and two people, what's this about?
Yes.
I've been asked about it, and I don't know anything about it, but what is this about? What does it say? What does it mean?
Well, it would be interesting to be working with the World Federation, because since they are part of the AU, Sierra Leone, which is the same country like Ethiopia that Haiti has ties and connected to, maybe they would be interested in knowing what was the reason it was rejected, and so I can inform my people what is now the reason is to stand together, whoever and whenever they're gonna watch that piece of life, whenever and however, that we need to get united again and to take our own decision. Seems like someone else is taking decision for us, so we have to be aware.
Exactly. Stand up to what you believe in. Why are you letting somebody else whosoever, even the fact that it was not chased up, and who these people are, this is something that even yourself can say, well, look, what's this about? Your people are behind you. What it is they want to know? What is it?
Yes.
It is what it is. You want to know something? Get your answers. How do I get my answers? You do your research. You call people. You talk to people. You write like everybody else. You write to the AU themselves. What you have people who lobby on you. Form yourself of the Constitution. We are the people.
Yes, I will really want to have some information and being informed about that decision, and then try to have a different discussion and try to see with the brothers and sisters how we can repair that, because we have no other bond, and history showed that we have the same common enemy that was Italy.
Yeah. Good. Thank you very much.
Ever
I hear you.
Ever since from the past, and Ethiopia has a fight with Italy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so and Haiti didn't stand with Italy. Haiti decided to stand behind Ethiopia. which make Haiti Ethiopia's team. So with all that beautiful tide in history, with all that beautiful action taken, they has to be rewarded with some recognition. And if somewhere there is something down the line, things are not corrected, it is us, the people, and that is why I am really grateful for that dialogue, because based on that dialogue, beautiful things, culture, knowledge, and education are able to go out, so people can listen and understand where we are and where we need to go.
That's the one. Oh. So my brother, what about your listeners? How are they doing? What they saying? Are they okay? I like to get my people involved, you know.
I believe that's a chance, Murphy. Some people said they believe it's a chance. To make things. Someone, Bernadette say again, being powerful is one. We are doing with our power. Is another thing. Wake up the people. La vie pas fait nous cadeau. We need to learn to put these power together. They said that life doesn't make any gift, and then first of all we need to wake up, and then first of all we need to alliance, because to make things go. Someone else in New York said the energy is from our inner self as black, period. So that person believe in the energy, and energy means market, business, so we need to create business among each other. Linda de Souza said that you are right, sister, based on what you're saying. The other person said we need to start putting them in the books and demand that our culture taught in school and in the land. Yes, that is why we need to go further. People said that we need to put it in the books. You have to come to Haiti. Some people said that they request you to come to Haiti. And culture define us, not the answer. And someone else said, but I saw one of the things that bothered me at the hotel that I work for. If you have dreads, you need a job at a sandal. If you need a standard job. She said she's working in the hotel and there's something that bothers her. If you need a job, you need to get into the standards. You need to cut your hair. That was disturbing to me. That was discrimination. They should have never stand for that. It's a part of the culture anyway. So a sister listening to us is telling us that she realized that to have a proper job you need to cut your dread until this day. So discrimination is still in order.
Yeah, it is part of discrimination to cut your hair. But then again, you have the human rights, you know what I'm saying? You have all sorts of rights right now. Everybody has rights. So if you're going, to me it's simple. If somebody is telling me I have to go to a hotel and I have to cut my hair, I don't want to go to that hotel anyway.
Well,
you understand me? Because
as a job, if when you have a job, you have a family to feed, and then when we are not united, when we need to learn to get to the path of autodetermination is. This is what is needed now. So my people need to understand what these words mean. It means we have to be our own plumber, our own IT guy, our own electrician, our own city administrated by our own culture. The school is our own law. Everything is our own will. And then it's governed as our own people in priority. But in order to go there, we need some instructions so we don't fight and bump heads for religions and politics, but mostly focus on what needs to be done.
Mofi,
yes,
you know
ma'am.
You've got the answers for your people, and you know what I'm going to say, and you know what you should be saying, and you know what you should be doing. Because all that my people are saying right now, and I said my people because it is my people, you have the answer. You have the answer. You know you have the answer to this. You got this one.
So the answer would be an alliance with the Ethiopian.
You got this one. You got this one, my brother. Trust me on that one. You got this.
All right then.
You got this.
Well,
You tell him you got this, and now we will help to work towards it. Because each one teach one, and all for one for all for one, and one for all. Working in that manner, no failure.
all right. All right.
Remember what I just said? All for one for all, working together, no failure.
Ashe. Ashe.
Yes?
Agreed, sister. Eternally.
Actually, yes. I'm a second Aldo. That's America for say thank you.
It was a wonderful time that I spent with you and your mind and your memory, and thank you for your beautiful knowledge, your patience, and your nurturing time, helping us and sharing good time. Beautiful things are coming, and before you go, I don't know how you feel about it, and I'm gonna let you say hi and to the people, and then to go have a wonderful day.
It's been a pleasure on your show, Murphy. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks to the listeners for sharing your time with me. It's been a pleasure. And just to know who we are is simple. Just to know who we are. Stand up to what you believe in. You know what I mean? As I said, each one teach one, all for one and all for one and one for all, working together, no failure. You know what I mean? It's about that caring and sharing. It's about all the beautiful things. It's about that LOVE, the love. That's what we need, that love.
Well, I believe we will have a different conversation on how we're gonna make the merge, make the move, and then I believe I will have some reading to do, and then I will talk to the people in the group, and then to ask whoever is willing to participate on that connection, because we will need to create many heads in many hands to create a dialogue like government to government. So I will try to raise and appoint in government on my end, and then create a chapter so we could have a dialogue and make exchanges on different level, education, economy, and history, so we could rebuild that link, that eternal link between bloodline and bloodline in the name of His Majesty.
I'm going to ask a question, Murphy, and to your listeners now. How many online listening are willing to make a change, are prepared to make a change, or to stand up to what they believe? How many who would say yes right now, they're ready to do that? Ask a question with whichever language you can ask them in. Ask them that question. And let me see a reply and see how many people that's listening that would say.
Well, you have to understand that I am live in 4 platforms at one time. So wherever you're watching us, it's one platform. But I'm gonna try. Tout le monde qui pense que c'est l'heure pour nous faire rassemblement, pour nous commencer à créer un gouvernement pour nous commencer à prendre pour responsabilité nous, pour nous capables et organiser, parce que Sista lui-même lui représente, il fait partie dans l'alliance internationale et qui c'est comme ça nous rencontrer, qui a fait dialogue ça. So lui demander est-ce que nous parler pour nous organiser. Tout le monde qui voulait, qui trouvait que nous organiser, ou just peser Y et just fait Y seulement, and then Y will be good. I just ask him, whoever want to believe it's time for us to unite to this purpose, just press Y, and then I'll be following.
Sure.
Some people said they've been ready ever since. YouTube, there is a lot of yes on YouTube, but you cannot see them. I send you both of the links. There is a lots of yes on Facebook. A lot of people are reacting. I don't know if you see it on your hand, so I believe.
I'm trying to see if I can get back out. I see before, what I can't remember what I touch. Facebook. Oh, you know what? I saw the link that you sent me before. Maybe that's it.
It's on the Telegram. I sent you 2 links.
Yeah.
One for YouTube, one for my main YouTube, one for my main Facebook.
I want to see now. Let me see.
Yes, take your time.
Which one I touch. Just give me. It might be a bit noisy, so do excuse me.
Whichever one you touch, you will be fine.
Okay.
and you're still having yeses, people still commenting yeses, I believe they are ready. They understand exactly what we're saying. I believe they are ready for unification. And then if they are ready, it's not going to be only word. Behind words, there is action. If you guys are ready, so we will have to come together on a chapter. And then we have to discuss how we're going to organize ourselves to take back control. Taking back control is an action. We'll have to make time for it, to study for it, and then being ready to help, to organize ourselves, being ready to organize our market, to take care, to create business and create instrument, document that will protect us and being respected by other government. Because if you're serious about it, you need to hear about it. So, I don't know if you still having your testimony.
Oh, sorry, I was too busy looking on your
Facebook.
Your face. Sorry, I was too busy looking on your Facebook just now and seeing the yes and everything.
Did you check on the other link that I sent you, which is the YouTube, so you can see the yes as well on the comment?
I think one of them I have to pay something. I know I didn't go onto that one, but this one look. I just
wow.
Want to say my people. Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Yes.
Right, Murphy. We can continue to do the work. You know what I mean?
All right.
Your people are ready. I'm ready. And it only takes one or two of us, and you have a lot who is ready.
Yes.
So that's good. Not much love to the people who's been listening over the past hour or 2 hours since we've been talking. I hope that my small knowledge is increasing with just by simplicity. As you know, I'm not gonna be no big education, this, that, draw, but just a little small simplicity amongst us to draw just that information to say, look, it is real. My actually slogan is keeping it real 24/7. So yeah. So I'm also too on Facebook. I'm also helping my community, trying to do it. So we have to do what we can do, and I give thanks for the sharing of the knowledge with you, Murphy. It's been a pleasure. I didn't expect to be on so long, but I guess that's what conversation, and that's what when knowledge increases, time doesn't matter amongst us, because we have something in common that we need to do. And time is not of any essence for us right now. I'm so relaxed, it's unbelievable. It's like nothing else matters more than just talking to the people right now. And it's a good thing it's my day off. I'm relaxed anyway, because it's about what we wanted to achieve in the next couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and how we can achieve it. And I'm glad that we can do it, Murphy.
Well,
we can do this.
We're gonna keep the conversation going, and then some papers will be be discussed, and some opportunity will be explained, and then I believe as soon as possible I will keep you updated with the following, whoever wants to be following, because we need all kind of people. We need people that know electricity, we need people that know about IT, but for now we need people to be in the chapter. If we're creating a chapter, we're gonna need people to manage money. We're gonna need people to manage a document about money, issuing letters. We're gonna need people being on the directing board. We're gonna need people bearing the true flag and representing one nation and one people. And then we have to speak as one voice, and then we need to organize and bring that knowledge of organization, that cry, to the country motherland Haiti, and then let them know that we need to rebond again with our blood. There is no other way around. After 216 years, there is no other way around.
Good.
Some people are requiring to have your name so they could check with you on Facebook.
My name on Facebook is Wendy Sims.
Wendy what?
Sims, SIMMS. There's a picture with me and my
Wendy with a Y? Sims?
No, with an I. SIMMS. Sims.
SIEEMS?
SIMMS. Sims.
Wow. SIMMS. I got it.
Yeah, and there's a picture with me and Two beautiful girls and a baby. That's me.
Wendy seems I see and what I see is not you. All the Wendy seems I see are white.
Oh no, that ain't me.
I'm sure of that.
Might be light skin, but not fully. Look again. SIMMS, Sims.
All this I find I have a Chinese one right now.
Oh my gosh. You sure that's not me?
I got another in Wendy Sims that looks like an African, but she's more of an artist.
Okay, so let me see. WENDY, you got Wendy?
Yes, ma'am.
And SIMMS?
SIMMS.
Yeah. 4 of us together, three sisters and a baby.
Oh no, there's nothing as a such. Maybe from where I am, they don't allow me to see you because, like I said, there is a restriction on the internet.
Oh, I can tell you what. Let me can see what it is. Yeah, maybe she look like Chinese, but they're not Chinese. She's in a blue dress.
Wendy.
Dan Marco just sent me a friend request. I'm not sure if that's someone.
Yes, it's part of the team. It's part of the team too.
Right. Well, they found me. If you didn't find me, they find me just now. They're popping up.
Yes, I know.
They're popping up. So yeah, give thanks.
Well, it's easy, guys. I will always have conversation with Wendy since we are working towards it, you know. So Wendy, I'm not gonna hold you too much since it was a beautiful long day. So what would be the next step of our conversation? I will finish reading the papers and then keep you updated, and then we'll go back into the same thing, looking forward, and I'm gonna select some of the people around me that would want to go further on it.
Yes, for sure.
And then and you will be
The
notarized.
same like-minded people reading the Constitution, making sure that they're reading that Constitution, that document
Yes.
that says for direction and guidance. That's the first thing. No matter what's going on, that's what's need to be done. Once you read it, then you say, "Oh, where has this been all the time?" You understand me? So reading is the first thing. You have to be a member for us to go further to even discuss it. You get me? So these are the things that needs to be done. We have to read that Constitution and become as one under one umbrella so that we can go forward with a lot of things.
I totally agree.
And don't forget, we also have unfinished business as well. I've got the documents that was...
Yes. I will keep you update on that matter. You can trust me. I will after the live. I will make some update call, and then still calling the company, and I will keep you update about every aspect of
so
the
we're
evolution.
working together anyway. So, but the rest of I like the Asian people to come together under that one umbrella, so that we can continue that work, and it's a beautiful thing, my brothers, when we are working together, because that's what they put inside of us. No, we can't. Black people, you can't work together. Black people, you can't do this. Black people, you can't do that. Damn. Yes, we can. As much as Obama says, yes, we can. Of course, yes, we can. We can do. So let's just continue to do that work.
All right. All right. All right. I wish you a beautiful sunshine under the day, and then remain a creator. Keep creating every move, and then we'll go forward from there. All right, my little sister. And then you have to let the people know and goodbye. I wouldn't stop an honor from a queen by saying goodbye to her people.
As in America say, I'm a second altar. Means thank you very much once again. It's a pleasure to be on here. I feel so relaxed. I feel so much at home. And I pray that one day, yes, I might able to take up the invitation to go to Haiti. But as like everything else, we have to work together to have that same goal, to make our people having that same, that one common goal, who we are, where we're at, and where we are going.
Yes.
Yeah. And thank you, my Asian family. I feel welcome. I feel special for today. I feel good. I feel blessed. I feel really, really, really blessed. Trust me on that one. I feel like a part of me has come together. You know, that I feel like my family. We are a family.
Thank you,
That's what
sister.
I'm gonna leave with you.
Thank you.
You know, there's a song that says family. I will say family. I know I can't sing it. Don't worry. Have a good day. God bless you.
You
Keep
do
you
the
all.
same,
Rastafari.
sister. Thank you, Rastafari. Ashe.
Bless up.
Bless up, sister. More truth, more peace, more love, more freedom, more justice, more Fefe, more light, more proof, more groove, more store, more fight. Toujours veiller côté ma pied là, côté ma pied. Toujours veiller côté ma pied là, côté ma pied. Toujours veiller côté ma pied là, côté ma pied. Toujours veiller côté ma pied. Comme caca babican, qu'aime pas besoin casser sans. Si m'ta mes pieds m'souli, qu'aime pas besoin casser. Caca babican, qu'aime pas besoin casser sans. Si m'ta mes pieds m'souli, qu'aime pas besoin casser. Pas besoin casser. Toujours veiller côté ma pied là. Au soukoum sou même nan de. Toujours veiller côté ma pied. Ou bien folie malice m'camper en boucle. Toujours veiller côté ma pied là. Met mi nan domino. Toujours veiller côté ma pied. Dap difficile pour me parler chita pa mi moun fait débat sur groupe WhatsApp tout bon ap valé cracher, parler gaé et puis y a propose yo connaît rien pas j'aime régler même intellectuel ou penser que t'as diplômé que t'as vinn aider yo tout net a parler clair a fait ouais a fait GBDF ou castrol chef niché sale tout glissé éclairé même tout dans soleil même tout dans sommeil la journée la billet frais la fait la tendre les 5 heures m'attendez parler en pile ton boulot yo pas comprendre l'offre entendez là le suivre ça le fait ton boulot yo pas conscient voilà il ça pas ou l'aime garder c'est tête pété c'est crivé, c'est tech, limena. Sans tout prendre, c'est moins qu'à boucaner, m'aime li, mais ça. Côte ça, l'on pas qu'à dire, mais saute pour maladie. Pas qu'on ait pas mené la justice là, ou dans paradis, et paradis, c'est qu'on y a. Ou pas qu'à bailler, son pas gagner, gira. Ou pas gagner, ton va qu'à monter, puis là. Ou pas qu'à bailler, son pas gagner, gira. Ou pas gagner, ton va qu'à monter, puis là. Croyance, ça c'est choix pas, ou vle croyance, ça c'est choix pas. Mon papa me chercher qu'on aime, mon maman me chercher qu'on aime. L'aime chercher Dieu, me vin jeune tête, moi l'aime jeune tête, moi me vin Dieu. Leur pensée, moi-même avancer, on tout ça, c'est deux. Toujours veiller côté ma mes pieds là. L'aime garder faut moi. Toujours veiller côté ma mes pieds là. Toujours veiller côté ma mes pieds là. Ouais, me soumets. Toujours veiller côté ma mes pieds. Comme caca babican. Qu'aime pas besoin casser. Si m'da mes pieds m'souli. Si mes pieds m'souli. Qu'aime pas besoin casser. Caca babican. Caca babican. Toujours senti nan
Qu'aime pas besoin casser. Si m'da mes pieds m'souli. Qu'aime pas besoin casser. Toujours veiller côté ma mes pieds là.
Macha pied, macha veb.
Toujours veiller côté ma pied.
Nous sommes soldats du verbe, on poète vie, on poète mort, on poète nom, les m'absenti, ça m'absenti, on poète l'or. On parole immortel qui incarne dans le monde, mais incarne une propria persona illuminée dans le jour. 360 degrees. Si vous soumettez un excommunié, je suis contre me camper vos ancêtres. Donc, je suis esclave Vatican, je suis un papier tête, mais papier mettre. Et Roura, elle a 4 façades. Dans la pyramide, je vais regarder l'autre qui fait mascarade.
Étude sous la loi, c'est ça qui mobilise. Pendant que je continue à voyager à titre nobilité.
Ça veut dire qu'on y a fait partie de l'élite. Fais dans tête pour m'afficher, nationalité, rationaliser. Ma on pas inconnu encore, c'est Maurice Empaya. Fait cafou 4 net, nous pas pour boîte lettre.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier là.
Toujours
veiller côté ma pépier là.
Et encore.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier là.
Fait.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier.
Freestyle encore.
Comme caca babican. Qu'aime pas besoin casser ça. Si m'da mes pieds souli. Qu'aime pas besoin casser. Caca babican. Qu'aime pas besoin casser ça. Si m'da mes pieds souli. Qu'aime pas besoin casser ça.
Hey.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier là.
Illuminé, more fame, more light.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier.
Ou gen folie malice, moi m'bouqué.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier là.
Illuminé I am more.
Toujours veiller côté ma pépier.
Soit chercher mes pieds sur page Facebook Fefe Haïti. Et là, on a rassemblé 3 millions. You heard? Peace, truth, love, freedom and justice. Illuminé I am. Erura Amael. More faith, pas black. More truth, peace. Tout le monde qui t'a aimé fait partie de rassemblement ça, de umble ça, quel que soit ou ta chrétien, vaudourisant, franc-maçon et latrier, feel free pour download app ça qui c'est Telegram. Numéro de téléphone moi c'est 508 345 92 94. Sans numéro de téléphone moi pas capable avec, sans numéro de téléphone moi ou pas capable faire partie de groupe là. Je nous tout temps là, nous sommes casser morceau avec ça là. Côté ça saute prend temps avec patience pour l'expliquer nous que les mêmes les viennent découvrir qui est lié. Et il découvrit un document qui mandait, un document qui était écrit par Sa Majesté le Premier, Haile Selassie the First, qui mandait pour tout peuple sous la terre. Et l'histoire, j'aime nous casser le bon nous là, nous autres râler l'histoire bon nous là, nous autres montrer nous que l'histoire montrer que Haïti était dépensé l'or, l'argent et vos âmes pour Éthiopie était campé en face l'Italie dans la guerre. Donc ça vient faire que Haïti c'est allié Italie et Haïti automatiquement fait partie de l'Union africaine. Donc maman de tout le monde qui t'a fait partie et des mouvements ça a sorti parce que moi avant nous venons en phase côté que nous pas quitter monde après décision pour nous encore. Nous pas quitter monde à voter pour nous à l'ONU encore. Et en pile fois on a dit nous c'est diaspora cap vivre on diaspora son communauté. On pas diaspora pour corps. Haïti va arrêter dehors l'Union africaine. Nous tout à battre pour entrer l'Union européenne africaine là. Et pendant ma parole là jusqu'à présent il n'a nous beaucoup facile pour que quête pour l'Afrique. Oui, il y a papier qui signe, il y a documents qui signe côté que yo mandé nous même pour nous aller. Et fini l'autre bois. Il y a besoin de relations diplomatiques avec nous, relations business, avec relations culture et musique. Donc tout le monde net qui t'a remis, monde qui déjà dans 3 millions, merci. Monde qui peut te coller pour regarder, mais tout le monde qui t'a remis fait partie de monde ça. Make sure que dans le groupe là parce que c'est parmi nous-mêmes que nous allons sélectionner monde qui veut. On a besoin de monde pour faire partie de l'équipe là, mais de manière more constitutionnelle. Ça veut dire qu'il y a un gouvernement pas qui a besoin de monde. Donc ou déjà connaît toute l'église, toute famille ça fonctionne en seul genre. Toujours gon monde qui gère tête là qui a une constitution, gon monde qui sont vice-président, gon deuxième vice-président pour 6 présidents voilà, gagné un secrétaire économique, secrétaire de l'administration, secrétaire économique là c'est un monde qui veille sous tout l'argent qui a entré et sorti et sous ça nous cap commencer gagner on voit devant l'ONU pour nous capable ramasser figure nous ramasser fierté nous. C'était moi même fait Haïti more faith, more light, more truth, more peace, more freedom and more justice as you know it. More nous c'est 3 millions. Et c'est au même journée jeudi à la pour me présenter nos sister Wendy Sims parce que nous relève Wendy Chad donc m'a dit tout le monde merci en pile, passez une bonne journée, m'a souhaité nous prospérité, lumière, bonté et tout ça qui bon. Et m'a demandé nous pour nous toujours rester dans guérison, prospérité et toujours répéter le cœur. Cœur gain pouvoir, cœur râler bagaille. M'a dit tout le monde merci en pile et m'a dit nous à l'autre encore. Peace.